Hey guys!
Hello!
So this week we got our order in from B&H. I think this is the last camera related stuff off the list, so that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
What
do we got?
Well, let's get the messy stuff first here. Okay, so you guys saw this thing here. This is the Blackmagic Intensity Extreme. It takes an HDMI input and sends it over a Thunderbolt port to your Mac, and then you can record direct to the hard drive in 1080p uncompressed. And this will be a useful tool for the RoboJib once we get that up and going. But we already got that, but we needed to pick up Thunderbolt cable, not included. Sadness. These cables are $50 because there's over 12 ICs and a bunch of active circuitry in the ends of them. It's pretty crazy. I'm not done with my tests and seeing how viable this technology is going to be and all that, so we'll have more on that stuff later. But yeah, wasn't able to get enough testing done for today's episode. We'll see what we can do. Alright, and we needed a HDMI C little plug there to A type for the camera, because the camera has a little port on it, and this is going into that box. So that was pretty easy to deal with.
I feel like cable management.
Yeah, I'm just hanging cables off of Addy. So more immediate here is that we got a wide angle 0.43x lens. This widens out our view off the end of the camera there. And while I was going through, I noticed this little guy, and I just wanted to share this because this is freaking genius. Okay, so this little lens cap here, I'll show you guys. It goes over the camera like so. Yeah. And it creates a diffuse version of the light in the room for the camera, and you can set your white balance off of that. And it has this ring that goes right into your filter rings, and it can sit right on the camera there, and you know, you go through and adjust your things. Our Nikon is standing in for the Canon in this case. This stuff actually goes on your face.
On your face.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a really, really cool idea, and I like it. It works really well. It's very, very, very much faster than having to get out a card and hold it in place and all that sort of stuff. So I am digging that. So this lens goes on you guys, and it normally has this hood on it because we're shooting under bright lights now, so is going right on the end of this. Make sure I get the thread started nicely. This is a little Bauer lens hood. I picked up two because I wanted one that's the normal size of the camera, which is 52 millimeters, and one that fits this wide angle lens adapter, which brings it out to 62. Just having extra options is nice. So there's this, and well, let's see what it does to your guys' field of view, shall we? Alright, so you can see that that's a little bit wider there. Exactly 0.43x wider.
I see.
Which is not a lot, but if you go too much, it starts getting
fisheye?
Yeah, fisheye effect.
I see.
Which is cool if you're making skateboard videos, but for...
It's like Tupperware.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, like $2 invention. I mean, really, if you do, if you need to do quick white balancing on the fly and you shoot on manual, very, very, very clever little thing.
Cool.
I like it. So that's the updates for the camera for the RoboJib for this week. And I think we're going to get to the rest of the show. What do you got this week?
More XBs.
XBs?
As long as I can get them to work, because I think right now they're on strike. We'll see.
And I've got some eye candy. We're going to be playing with that LCD that Joe Grand sent over and seeing if we can get that up and running.
Cool.
All right, let's get to it. Okay, so we've got a couple things here. This is that LCD we were talking about that Joe Grand sent over.
Ooh.
And it's got a USB connection over to the computer. Now this is all sorts of
new and
well,
improved.
So this whole construction is sort of a Franken system. This LCD drawer here, rack drawer, is going to get this LCD module in it and a control board in it. So this is from Joe Grand. This is from like a 10-year-old LCD drawer. That power supply is from the LCD drawer, but the power cable going to the wall from it is from a Commodore 64 disk drive. Yes. Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, obviously we've got it running. You can see, let's see, we've got Addie is trying to figure out how to fix the demonstration that we've got to shoot here in a couple minutes. So it's right up to the wire, folks. Will Addie make it? If there's nothing else in this video about XBees, you know she didn't. Looks like Mike Burr is trying to help her. So yeah, this is the live feed right out of the IRC room running on this right now. This monitor will be for the Mac that's going inside this case, but for today's purposes, it was easier to use this, which is
our cute little Sony Vaio netbook.
not a netbook.
Oh, small
It's
book.
a sub notebook.
Sub notebook.
Yeah, it's got a lot more horsepower than a netbook does.
I see.
So this
Quite
is
cute. Quite small.
a lot smaller than a netbook too, because there's no trackpad here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got one of the awesome IBM ThinkPad style nubs, which you just simply can't buy anymore. This computer came out in like 2010, 2009.
Yeah.
And I love it. The keyboard is almost full sized. My hands, I play guitar and piano and stuff, so I got like that musician's
Reach.
fingers, and my hands fit this very nicely. So physically, this is great. This is going on the road with us because it has the ability to run in the car. It's very small, so to be comfortable to use in the car. It has a GPS module in it, so we can keep track of where the heck we are. We are going through 12 states.
11 states, actually.
11 states?
I think. But I had to recount because I was sure we were doing
We may
12.
take a detour and hit 12. You never know.
Why not?
And it has a 3G modem in it.
Yep.
So we'll be able to hang out with you guys in the chat room on the road,
Indeed.
which will be awesome.
Yep.
If you guys haven't checked out the IRC channel yet, you should, because there's a lot of people in there that, wow.
Our brains.
Yeah, I mean, we even have a guy that has a wagon full of brains. Yeah.
And just to let you guys know, these are prototype hardware, I guess, from a product called Field Monitor Pro that Joe Grand worked on, or made, I guess. And so we'd like to...
Yeah, this isn't the final version. This is like the prototype that Joe, you know, hacked on when he was trying to get it to work.
Yep. So thank you, Joe. And hopefully whenever Field Monitor Pro is available for folks like you and I, you know, you'll check it out.
So yeah, I think that's most of my update for this week.
I hope the XPs work.
We'll see in a minute, won't we? This is
not...
being shot out of order, so maybe it's worked already, maybe it hasn't. Nobody knows. The editor.
I guess that's true.
And that's me.
I guess that's true. Okay.
All right, let's see what Addie is up to over there.
Okay, so I actually got it to work. Woohoo! It turns out that, you know, if it's not the hardware, it's not the software, it's probably the user, in which case, me. So, I had to fix a couple things. But anyway.
So wait, the bug was you?
Yeah.
Huh.
I just had to find myself. After much soul searching. So, last few weeks, we've been looking at the XB, and I showed a bunch of different terminal commands that you could do to figure out if, well, to set different settings on your XB. So now we're actually going to have it communicate, because obviously the point of this is not to talk to yourself via feedback loop. It's actually to be able to send information to one side and maybe even have them send information to you.
Hello, Whisker. Hello, Whisker.
Hello, Whisker.
Hello, Whisker.
Well, that's the feedback loop.
Yes.
Right. And our conversation is what we want the XPs to do. Anyway, you are distracting me. So, what we have here is this setup here, where the PC with the X-CTU software from Digi is going to be connected to via USB, I think A to mini B, to one XB here, and then USB to the propeller and an XB. Now you can do it this way, or you can also do 2 instances of this propeller plus XB combination, and that's what I am going to do. I have 2 prop BOEs here, and on both of them I've placed the XB, so easy, simple.
Those prop BOEs are up for pre-order now, right?
They are, yes.
You're like the only person in the world that has those.
Well,
A pair of them.
that's why I'm
and
testing them with different things, I
a pair of
suppose.
XBs and
Right.
yeah.
That's why I'm testing them. So I've opened up 2 instances of X-CTU, and I just wanted to show you that the test query actually works. So I'm going to test COM5. Lovely, that works. I'm going to test COM6. And, you know, if you see any errors in here, and I'll show the errors in a little bit, it probably means that something's wrong. So I was throwing these errors before, and that's why I was slightly whining in the earlier segment of the show that I don't know if it's going to work. So in order to make sure that this test query works, there's a couple things. First, your hardware connections have to be what they should be. And secondly, your software actually needs to work. So the easiest for me to show is actually the hardware. So this is what I had before. I had the XB, this is a prop BOE board. I had the XB on its little slot, and then I had the USB cable hooked up to the PC. Okay, this is what it was. And what happens, so I'm going to give an example of what happens when I do that. I'm just going to take these wires out. Hopefully it'll work after I put them back. And we're going to run a test query again. Okay.
Hello, Whisker.
Hello. And what you see is that it kind of test queries, but you end up with these weird blackened squares. And so I was like, well, I don't think that's right. So Whisker took a look and he said, you actually, if your code says your data out pins on the XB need to be connected to pin 0 on the prop, then you need to physically connect them. And I'm like, ooh. So using jumper wires, I have done just that. So if we look at this, the XB again is on this little XB slot. The PC gets the USB cable going to it, and then we have, now these aren't labeled on this picture, but this is the D out, the data out from the XB, and you connect that to pin 0, and then you take the D in and you connect that to pin 1 with jumper wires. Okay, so both of my prop BOE boards have this setup. And this, I'm going to go ahead and connect that again.
Did you add the XB to that graphic, or did you find one?
I did. I Googled it.
You're such a hackser. And
then I copy pasted it. And then I cut all the excess around it. All right, let me just make sure I'm putting these wires correctly. It always seems to be the wires messing up, or me messing up the wires that gets it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and test query again because I've just put the wires back together. Ah, lovely. Okay. And now, on both of the EEPROMs of the prop BOEs, I have put this serial pass-through code. And this is code that I have on my Tumblr post, and we'll put a link to that. But essentially all it does is it uses the object full duplex serial, and within that object you have to set certain parameters, certain pins, and you have to label them and all that good stuff. So we have our clock section here with the crystal details. Then we set the XB receive pin to 0, XB transmit pin to 1, and then we have the baud rate of the default 9600. We do that for the PC, because what happens is the PC is going to talk to the prop, and then the prop is going to talk to the XB. And then we have some memory set aside for our new cog, have the object section so that we know what we're using. And then here we pretty much just initialize communications for the PC, for the XB, and all of these details are pretty much set by the object. So the object will say, okay, you need to put first the PC receive pin, the PC transmit pin, a mode, and then the baud rate. And since we set that all up in the con section above here, then it's like variables. I go into a lot more detail in my post, so we'll put a link to that too. And then we flush to empty the buffer for the data, and then accept data from the PC and send it to the XB, and so on and so forth. So both of my propellers have that loaded. And what I'm going to do, we're going to go to the terminal window here for both, and I'm going to go ahead and start typing. Ooh. All right, so what you see is that when I type here, something appears here. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know, what should I say, Whisker?
Yes.
Yes. See? And if I go here and I type, hello, Whisker.
Hello, Whisker.
Then the person on the other side sees this. So Whisker and I have tested this where his instance of this whole setup was done on his computer, his side, and my setup was on my computer, and we essentially have what is a chat client.
We were beaming our thoughts across the room.
It's true. It's true. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, so there's this way that you can do it, and that's actually like instantaneous. So instantaneous communication, which is great, but say you actually want to be able to put together a thought before it happens, because you can't really delete. You can assemble packet, so I'm talking as this person, and I can be like, I am thinking about what I am saying. Send data. And then you see that the other person
that's a stretch.
Gets it. Thanks, Whisker.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. So that is that. We have just made a chat client very easily, in fact. And I believe next time we're going to be doing, I'm guessing, receiving decimals. I'm gonna predict that it's receiving decimals.
She probably won't really know until she gets to that point.
Yeah. So I will figure it out, and then I'll let you guys know next week.
All right. Let's wrap this thing up.
Okay. And I will say this. Bye. See ya.
Oh yeah, I forgot one thing about this laptop.
Hmm?
I got this on eBay, like we said it was used.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the previous owners who sold this to me
Previous owners.
did not pack it. They put it inside of a flat rate box with no packing
Oh, that's not cool.
and shipped it across the country. And it's supposed to have Windows 7 Home Premium on it,
Uh-huh.
which is what the key underneath the battery is for.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't. It has Windows 7 Ultimate on it, and they didn't activate it.
That's tacky.
So now I've got in a counterfeit copy of Windows XP on here. So I had to order at my own expense.
Yeah.
New discs, recovery discs for this machine from Sony. And this doesn't have a DVD drive on it. So I also had to get a external DVD drive to be able to install said recovery discs.
That sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
Come on, eBay sellers.
So anyway,
Get
is
with
there
it.
a 0 stars setting?
I don't know. There should be though.
Yeah, so we're just going to buy Mytronics, and yeah, don't ever buy from them, because while the laptop is very nice, they're
It's a pain in the butt to get it to work.
they don't understand the very basics of what's required to include when shipping such an item.
Yep.
So yeah, on the other side of the coin, there is somebody that I would definitely not worry about buying from. He sent me this. Now, I didn't pay for this,
Yeah.
so I can't really like say I bought it, because
Didn't.
I didn't. But it feels too heavy for what I asked for. And you guys might remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about a angle sensor that uses magnets.
Yeah.
From Tautic.com, and we called Jason out and asked him if he wanted to send us one, and he did, but it feels like that's not all he sent us, so let's take a look and see what Jason sent over here.
LEDs.
Eddie's getting all excited.
So the angle sensor is this tiny little thing, which is what the size. Your hand's blocking. Like just barely the size of my thumbnail. It's tiny. And I think we've shown, there's some tests
Literally
that we've done.
Thumbnail.
Yeah, that we've done
So
that
this
are
is
on the forums.
a breakout board for an EM3242.
Right.
And basically you put a magnet up here that's rotating, and this thing will put a different voltage out on its A out. So basically it's a 3-wire situation. You give it VDD, you give it ground, and then you attach the A out pin to an analog input, be it a ADC or a analog input pin on your microcontroller. Now I don't have a magnet to test this with yet, so we can't really do any testing, but that should be very good for the RoboJib rotational thing, because the whole RoboJib needs to swing around with that H-bridge motor thing that we're building. So on its shaft I'm going to put the magnet, and above that I'm going to put the sensor, and it'll have dead reckoning.
Cool.
Which is probably not a good word for that, but yeah. Looks like he sent over a couple of other random things from his shop here.
We got headers, we got
well, these are
is that perf? Quasi-perf? Header perf? I don't know.
you could use these for a few different things, but I think the main intended purpose is you could use them as jumper boards. So you could put some of these headers in there and create your own little multi-position jumpers.
I see.
And you could also use them to break out a header. So you would put your header down the middle of this and plug it into the header on like the quick start board or something. And then you put wires going off of the ones next to the header pins.
I see.
And then out to stuff.
I see.
So there's a couple different ways you could use these.
Cool.
Probably more too.
Then LEDs.
Oh yeah, this
I like
is
the red.
fancy. So I think Jason's going to be making some more of these. This one is, it basically, an LED goes in each one of these positions, and then you've got 2 headers here. And if you turn on, say, 1 and 8, it'll turn on one of the LEDs. If you turn on 1, 8, and then the rest all the way to 14, it'll turn on a whole row.
I see.
Now with some pulse width trickery and staggering your pulse widths when they're on, you could actually do simple animations on a board like that. Like it were a little pixel display.
Oh, cool. That's handy.
So I think he's making a surface mount version of this in the future too, so make sure you keep an eye out on his store. An RGB surface mount version of it. That one's still in the design phase, but yeah, this is, Jason's in the room every day too, so if you got feedback on stuff you'd like somebody to make, he's your guy.
Yep.
All right, I think that's it for this week.
Yep. We'll see.
Yeah. Who's on Zombie Tech this week? Random Hacks of Kindness? Yeah.
Is it Random Hacks of Kindness?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So this guy that we got to interview, he was an alternate for another representative for them, but this particular guy
is
really
awesome.
Interesting. He worked with the FTC as their technology
expert.
Their technologist.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the guy here who was sort of his job was to make sure that the folks at the FTC understood the situation of our privacy online in terms of business and its relation to the internet. Now that may not sound like it relates to zombies, but yeah, you definitely got to check out Zombie Tech this week. It was a really good one.
Yep, very interesting. He's totally on top of his game. So.
And what did we do for first spin yesterday?
Counters.
Counters, oh yeah.
Yep.
Roy was explaining how counters work on the propeller, which I've always found very puzzling.
Yep.
But he did a really good job explaining it. And we've already had some really good feedback on that episode. So firstspin.tv if that's relevant to you. All right, I think that's it for this week. We're going to get out of here.
Okay.
We're actually going to go shoot Addie trying to get her XBs to work. So if that completely collapsed, you guys already know it, and we don't yet. So this is Addie and Whisker from the past saying goodbye.
See ya.
We post videos all the time, so don't forget to subscribe. And follow us on Twitter at TYMKRS.